Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gad, your host. Now you're seeing three charts. The female who requested it, a regular client, is on the far left. The person who she's in what she feels a pretty good relationship right now appears to be a soulmate. I'm personally still looking into that. He's in the middle, and the person she feels is a twin flame is at the far right. So she's just seeing right now with the current space placements thing going on above. I always say as above, so below. Now, the video will be comparing all this to, which is I call a Trump chart, because Trump is going to trump everything, because as above, so below. You can go right to the channel. If you're hearing this video, you must be somewhere near Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444, seen and heard on YouTube. You'll be looking at the new moon, Virgo, August 30th, 2019, Leo 12th house. So that was a chart that you'll be looking at to understand these three charts, because they all will be corresponding. We can go very much in depth about all of it. The new moon chart itself was available to clients. Still is for anybody who wants their new moon reading as well. They can contact me. But you do get to hear a lot about the 12th house, and that's very important because the guy in the far right is a Leo, and you get to see what he's going through with this Leo in the 12th house, and also all that karma going on in the 5th house. And the 5th house is also ruled by Leo. So here's the video. Remember, there's a lot of offers going on right now. Make sure you have the most recent services offered and price list. Contact information is in the description box. Have been talking to a lot of people on the phone lately as well. So make sure you have all that information. And here's the video. Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gad, your host. What we will be doing now is, you see three charts. The female who requested the chart is at the left, and two males in the middle. One believed to be a twin flame, the other believed to be a soulmate. So we're going to look at what's going on currently as above, because as above, so below. So we can get better insight into where everyone is at this time. So, as above is a trump. That overrides everything. As above, so below. So it's all about the first house in Virgo. And this is a stellium. A stellium is three or more planets in one house or in one sign. First thing, Virgo. And when you're dealing with Virgo, you're dealing with the sixth house. So that's the first thing we look at these charts. And as you can see, Virgo will experience some form of love, but there'll be a lot going on because you got all these planets, and these planets kind of can kind of say they kind of oppose each other a little bit, kind of complement each other a little bit. So it could be a little bit of confusion. So you got to just watch what you say, but you also got to watch what you choose to believe, because of the stellium in Virgo, because it's a new moon in Virgo as well. Just give me a moment. So I'm at the chart that should be in the middle. All right. All right, so his moon sign is Virgo. So once again, he'll be affected by that Virgo. And like I said, because of the intensity, a lot of stuff's going to come out. It would be wise to try to wait till energy calms down before you believe something totally. Because what may happen is certain things may be said, certain things may be done. But as these planets begin to move out of Virgo, whichever ones are going to move out, things are going to change. Right, so he's Virgo with the moon, and that's also his vertex with healing. So when you're dealing with Virgo and in the 8th house, that's going to be a lot of health concerns, either positive or negative. But the moon is always going to bring somewhat of a internal, emotional, even motherly or feminine. And with the moon, like I said, the moon in Virgo is a lot like Mother Mary or an Isis. So there's also like mysticism there, supernatural stuff. So again, you got to be careful of dreams and things like that, because people have energies and people have different things around them. So whenever you're dealing with the 8th house, this could be some type of healing. It could also be alternative medicines, or and like I said, they go to mother, because now when you go to his 4th house, that's Cancer. So the mother of the I Moon Coeli gonna be there. Any form of education, especially like teenage to young adult education. And like I said, it could be health. One thing I noticed about this moon, this new moon, it's all about Virgo. That's why you see a lot of 9 degrees and stuff like that. So you also got to be very careful of critically talking or judging people, because Virgo tends to do that, or just looking for faults, because Virgo tends to do that. And you have to be careful of expecting perfection, because really nothing's perfection. Virgo does that. And then when you're dealing with the 6th house, you're dealing with home, young children, young animals, health, healing, daily activities, daily duties, co-workers, subordinates. So his chart, at least where Virgo is concerned, is going to be pretty much kind of like family or the home. Now, when they say the home, which is the 6th house, that could be the family you were born out of in the 4th house, but it could be any home you stay in, really. Any home that you're kind of like pretty much associated with now. So now we'll look at the other male, which is probably the chart on the right. And now, as you can see, his moon is in Cancer. But so is Mars and so is Venus. So that would be a stellium for him because he's got 3 or more planets, because astrology considers them planets. So this is all 8th house stuff. So that's why I'm telling you, that's when things like this can get difficult, because people's emotionals are going to be imbalanced, and especially like for some people at the end of the month they have to deal with certain things, and that could also affect certain things. So this could really be highly intense. It could also be dramatical, because he's got Mars there, and again you see the vertex again, and he's dealing with a lot of Jupiter energy. 10 is the world card, and that's Jupiter energy. With Mars conjunct the moon, you have to be very careful of internal anger, because it comes out with the emotions. And people, like I said, may be getting emotional now because of the stellium with both the moon and the sun and the stellium. And this is in the 8th house. So for the gentleman at the far right, all that's going on in the 8th house could be very intense, very traumatic. And then his Virgo is in his 10th house, which is the career house, with number 13, and that's against Scorpio, or the 8th house. And then if you notice, his Scorpio and his Pluto is in the 12th house. So this is very watery, transformative, but all that stuff that's in the 8th house could be going on, because that 12th house is also very karmic. It can deal with endings. It can deal with your subconscious mind. And whenever you have Vesta in the 12th house, that could deal with incarceration. And if you notice, his Vesta is at 20 degrees, which is the judgment card. And the 12th house is about buildings, which do include police stations, and the Vesta is also about compartments like an elevator or a jail cell. And his Pluto is at 0 degrees. That's Uranus energy, which means anything can come out of anywhere. And if you see where his Uranus is right there in Capricorn. And plus, that's the 2nd house of finances. Well, no, he just made it into the 3rd house. It just left the 2nd house. And Aquarius rules the 11th house. When you go and you see 9 degrees again. His Libra is 9 degrees. So like I said, it's really a Virgo connection. It's almost like planet. It's almost like the sign Virgo, the constellation Virgo. It's kind of like the mother, and then all these people are like connected by either soul families or twin souls, twin flames. And I kind of get the impression that he wouldn't necessarily mind a relationship, but he's kind of like busy. Like almost everything with him is friends, association, and groups or Aquarius energy. See what I'm saying? Everything. Even his Juno is in the fifth house, which is fun, but it's still very aggressive. It's like very aggressive. See his seventh house? Ain't nothing in there. I probably said that before. He ain't got no relationship in the seventh. And then, like I said, when you go to his eighth house, you see Venus in life, but you also see family. So, according to what I'm seeing, his chart, he's always going to like be around with the people, friends, association, and groups. Aquarius, 11th house, or he's going to be with family in the 8th house. The ninth house is like long distance travel or entertainment and media and all that. And you see Leo there. Like you really don't see him snuggling up like in a serious way to a female. Now he might be a player, possibly. Because even Gemini in the seventh house, that's like short term. Remember, Gemini is short term. Like how they go wham bam, thank you, ma'am. That would be like Gemini in the seventh house. It's just short term. He's not trying to go deep in the seventh. And then he definitely got something going on with his mother in the eighth house. That could be past life stuff. But that's what you're really going to be seeing around this time. You're going to be seeing a lot of Mars, uh, Venus stuff going on. Venus, Mars themes. Maybe the Sun and Moon themes. But he will be transforming though. You see, you got Scorpio in his 12th house. You got Pluto in his first house. And his first house is connected to Sagittarius. And that's where his Leo is in the ninth house. So he will be transforming. Now, some of his transforming may link up to incarceration, but it may not. Or be in some type of hangman position. Because that'll be number 12 or wherever you see Neptune on his chart. It's kind of like that LL Cool J video, I Need Love. And he was trying to tell a girl, I really want to get with you, but my life is so hectic and stuff. Because he was famous, so he was trying to tell her, I really do want to get with you and I really want this, but my life is so hectic, so I can't really, I wasn't really able to get with you. Okay, I'm not going to do her chart yet. I'm probably going to do her chart. Just go around. When I do her chart, I'll probably go around the whole chart. But as far as the males, I'm just going to be going house to house. Alright, give me a second. Just waiting for this to open up. Alright. So like I said, when you got Juno and Virgo, then that's implying that might be a serious relationship in Virgo. But when we looked at both their charts, let's look at that again. You do see the vertex, so anything could happen in vertex. Like I said, this guy in the middle, you got moon sign, so something could possibly happen there. And that definitely will probably be some type of soulmate situation because of the vertex cross, the moon. And like I said, it's a lot of stuff going on because people is dreaming a certain type of way, people are seeing things that they don't fully understand. It almost seems like they're leaving this reality and dealing with something else. But that's the type of stuff you get when you got the moon and the eighth house and the vertex. So that type of stuff will be happening. And even his Juno is his Juno's in the in Scorpio, and Scorpio rules the eighth house, and it's conjunct Pluto. So that's like transformation. So really, his eighth house and look like his 10th house. And see, you see how you got Venus and all that. So that 28 degrees is implying it's going to be like kind of extreme though. It's not really going to be balanced, but it's going to be very extreme. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. With this stellium in the first house, that's what you're looking at. Would you see all that is off the hook. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody at a job like as I know, because people like work out here, they work it out. Like before that was Walmart. Before you had a Walmart, you had a Kmart, and that's how Kmart was. Kmart was like the early version of Walmart, and it'd be people working there, but they be all in the back room having sex and they on the clock. You know what I'm saying? So that's this. This is what you see right here with this Scorpio. He's got a very interesting I believe that's his 10th house. I'm gonna count it. Very interesting, and he might even make some money doing it. It's almost like I used to work telemarketing, and this dude, he would be selling drugs. So he would be making drug money. He'd be on his cell phone making more money, making money with the cell phone, and then he would be on a company telephone getting deals. So he was making money. That's this type of thing. This dude right here in the middle, in his 10th house. So for him, he may see something like that. But like I said, it still may not last. Then again, it could last. It's just one of them things. Some things don't last, some things do. But in his eighth house, where you see Scorpio, you're gonna see a lot of stuff. And like I said, even when Scorpio's in when the sun is in Sagittarius, all right. So it really his moon, his Virgo, his vertex, his Scorpio, all that. And I think that's a stellium in his Scorpio too. So it's a lot of stelliums. So it's gonna be crazy. It's like really gonna be off the hook. But some people, for some people, they don't really care. It's almost like when you go out partying and you get all high and just do anything stupid and you really don't care. So, but the people that are gonna get hurt is like the people really looking for something to mean something, because it's gonna be like come and go. For somebody looking for like some quick whatever, like if you was getting high or something, they're gonna love it with these stelliums and all the strange configurations. But anybody looking for like a serious thing, they're gonna be kind of hurt. Alright, so now we're going to jump over to the chart all the way to the far right. See, even when I said Leo in the 12th house, like right now, you can see it on his chart. For him, it's more like transformation. Like when you see Scorpio and it's Pluto, even though the Pluto is leaving that 12th house, it's so close that it's still in 12th house. And if you notice, it's 20 degrees, see another 20. Because 20 is always about some form of judgment or evaluation and transformation. So right now, that's kind of like where he's at. Not saying it can't happen. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody may say, oh man, you don't know what you're talking about because he got a girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. But it's still going through what I said. And even when you see where that Venus is at, because even that 8th house is death and rebirth. It's still transformation. All this is connected to the 8th house. Cancer in the 8th house with Venus and the moon and the vertex. And if you're dealing with the 8th house, and then the 5th house is ruled by Leo. That's his sign. But Saturn retrograde is right there, so you know it's karmic. And you know it's past life. And his Juno is 16 degrees, which is Mars energy, which is the tower going down, the tower card. And the Mars is right there in the 8th house. Scorpio, Mars used to rule 8th house. This is all about transformation. And it might even be traumatic. Might be some jail time, might be some probation, all kind of stuff that you may never know about. Whenever you're dealing with the 8th house or the 10th house, the 8th house or the 12th house, you're dealing with secrets and all that. And then like even with a retrograde, that stuff that's internal, you may never find out about it. And you see a lot of 28s on his chart as well. Because basically 28 is something that's not balanced. It's like extreme. His vertex is 21, which is karmic. Saturn, the world card. And then that 28 could mean it's not really balanced. And when it's next to Mars, you can see why. So his 11th house, friends, association, groups. Even that's what I'm saying. So he got Libra there. But that could even be business partnerships. And sometimes I just heard Dame Dash say it. Dame Dash said a lot of dudes, a lot of rappers, what they do, once they get a little bit of money, they find like a real famous actress or singer or something to marry. So that way they don't really play out. So he kind of was saying that's what Jay-Z did. Because that's what you see. You see his relationship, and that's also business. Because Libra is also business, and that's in friends association groups. It don't have nothing to do with no love. And then he got a lot of 0 degrees over there, which is like new beginnings. That's like the Uranus energy. The Fool card, new beginnings. So I'm not saying it's not possible that he has a girlfriend or love or might be a player, but it ain't really, it's nothing there saying it's going to be deep. It's not going to be deep because he's going through a whole lot of transformation. And the best thing he could do is get that process going. Be honest with himself. Work with somebody that really is good with stuff like that. Because a lot of people, they don't do nothing about it. And that's why I said you'll see somebody, years will go by and then they'll be in trouble with something, because nobody knew they had that problem. Even like somebody like R. Kelly, they all knew about that. You know what I'm saying? They all knew about that in the 90s when he first came out. Everybody knew what R. Kelly was into. But nobody took it seriously because he had so much money, and back then they didn't care. So he never got the help he needed. Now it ain't no help. Now they just want to lock it. They want to just lock him up. And now he's saying, "Oh, if I could just get help or all that," but don't nobody care. They feel, man, you could have got held 20 years ago. So that's this type of chart as far as it's stuff that he should deal with and not, you know, not just don't say nothing about it. So in his 5th house, like I said, that's a player. That's aggressively player. That's Juno. So he might have a serious relationship. He might have a female that's serious, but he's not going to be. He got too much internal shit going on. And a lot of times when you see like the moon conjunct Mars, that could be mom issues, and then it's right there in the 8th house, and you see Cancer. That's mom issues, and even like Imum Coeli is your mother, is your subconscious mind. So that could really be somebody that got issues, either in the 8th house or the 12th house. And again, with all these charts, you're gonna see like supernatural stuff as well, especially with the moon, with all them stelliums. And right now, partnerships and or relationships pretty much may have some money problems because you don't see no money in the 2nd house. And when you go to the 7th house, it's more spiritual than anything else. And even when you go to the 10th house, is Gemini, but again, that's short. Third house, Scorpio, and Gemini, but again, that's immature behavior. That's gossiping. Like I said, that's like a watching and walking dead movies and stuff like that. The Scorpio brings the supernatural and the unknown, and then Gemini is just communication and publishing. But Gemini is really, like I said, short distance. Don't really want to talk about anything, or does not want to go too deep. Now this is, like I said, 4th house, but this is education. This is everything. This could be a teacher in the 4th house. It could be some type of classes that have to do with travel. It could also do with in-laws or higher laws coming out the 9th house. So when you look at the 4th house and the 9th house, there you go, and it's both about money. But it's just that something's coming out of nowhere. Like in the 9th house, you got Uranus retrograde. Anything could come out of nowhere, and that's in Taurus. And that's affecting the 2nd house too, where Libra ain't got no cash. So again, money might come from family and or education. Somebody might have a loan or something where they get some money back on the loan. I just got something in the mail. It was about it was more like 8th house though. But it was like somebody has died and left me some money. So now that insurance company, that was years ago. Now the insurance company called me and sent me a letter telling me there might be some type of settlement. But they was like, you know, the least you're gonna get is $10 or whatever. So like that's not like a big deal. But stuff like that pop off. So again, you want to look at these again. And see, in his fourth house is Taurus. So he might see some money coming out of that, because that's the family or education. That's almost like getting a refund or something like that. And you even see 10. See what I'm saying? See on his, the middle chart, you see 10. That's the world card. That's Jupiter. That's fortune and money, expansion. And then it's 21, which is also could be the world card, which is karma. And then the ninth house is Sagittarius, but he got Libra there. So that's what I'm saying. Could be some type of partnership, some type of whatever. But if you notice, it still ain't nothing there but Libra. Similar to the with the Trump chart. When I say Trump chart, that's the one that's above all, as above, so below. And then he just misses Venus by 2 degrees because it goes into the next house, going deep. So when you see that again, it's like more set. Like I told you, it's like party, sexual party and all that. But again, it's still skipping relationship. So this is something I told this person a long time ago. Like sometimes you just have to be honest with yourself, though. What do you really want? Because we went over this a long time ago. I think it was just solar return or something when all that came up. Because if you see yourself doing the same thing, like let's just say I'm a party animal. You know, I party, I do all kind of stuff, just a party animal. And then I guess years go by and I say, you know what, I need to change. I really need to get myself together. I need to change. Right? And then, but you try to change, but everybody you try to connect with is still on like they a-holes. So no matter how you try to change, you still see yourself back in the same shit you was doing 4, 5, 6 years ago. Like you don't want to be there, but for some reason you can't find nobody serious. You can't find a real relationship. And even when you think the dude really care about you, he's still just wham bam and thinking you mammon, and he keeping it moving. So you still see yourself in that same predicament that you was in like years ago. So you feel a certain way. And some people go, well, fuck it, you can't beat it, so I might as well join it. And other people say, I don't know what to do. But I tell everybody, slow down. I had somebody I talked to today, they was like gun ho. Like the last two, it's funny because a lot of people are coming in batches right now. But they just gun ho, a lot of Aries energy. They just want to talk and just want to go through it quick. And if you haven't learned that one thing, you ain't going through shit too quick. Anything you go through too quick, you end up doing it over, or you're going to have some regret. You're going to wish you had slowed down. So that's what you're seeing here. If you just looking at his chart, it just keep missing the serious points. But that party shit is on. And I don't know where this dude work at. But like I said, we definitely going to look at his 10th house. I don't know where he work at, but I know it just remind me of like old school Kmart, where you could do anything up in there. You could probably be in the back stock room smoking weed or some shit. Like it didn't care. Like that type of stuff is the stuff you would see like in a old school movie. Like an old Fridays movie, or them type of movies where you be doing all kind of stuff at your place of employment. And even in Sagittarius, looks like that's in his 11th house. Same thing, but it's still missing. Ain't nothing in there either. Too much. And when you go to his Aquarius, because Aquarius rules the 11th house, you see that number 10 again. So that's again Jupiter money. That's friends association, stuff like that. Alright, so we keep moving. In 5th house, and that's going to be for Leo energy and 5th house fun, but it's extremely karmic. And also with Pluto retrograde, you're gonna lose something, whatever it is, something gonna get taken away, and they go that 20 again. but it's definitely going to be karmic. And that number 14 means temperance or Sagittarius. It's internal changing, and people are changing. But this is primarily for Leo, and it may have to do with your job as well. Now, people have to understand when you're dealing with Pluto, it could be, or Scorpio, or the 8th house, it could be dealing with your health, and even Saturn could deal with the body parts too, like legs and stuff like that, knees. So all this is going on, but however it is, it's going to slow this dude down. Like I'm not saying he can't get on a date, but it's not going to really be, and everybody's different, because a lot of times, and I can't explain it to you, but your chart may say one thing, or the charts may say one thing, but your life is totally different. But it is what it is. But as a general rule, it is that way. So even like I said, you might be working at your job with somebody that you kind of wish y'all was connected to, but it don't happen for whatever reason. Maybe your mind ain't ready, emotionally you ain't ready, spiritually you ain't ready, financially you may not be ready. It could be a lot of reasons why it don't happen, even though y'all both looking at each other and y'all both feeling a certain way, but it don't happen. I mean, even the person I work with now, my soulmate who I work with, it was like that. Both of us seemed like we wanted to talk to each other, but back then it ain't never happened. Every time we try to make it happen, it ain't never happened. It was just like me and my twin. And then she left and came back, and it seemed better. Like, it seemed like we talk a lot more now than we did before. But it had to be time or whatever it took. And I could tell she had did some healing too. So these things happen. So again, you see his Leo. Wow, that chart. Yeah, well, this is the chart above that I call it the Trump chart, the master copy, the master. Everybody's revolving around it. All right, so his Leo again is, like I said, Leo on the 12th, all by itself. So that's why I say, even if he's with somebody, there is going to be a feeling of aloofness. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a feeling of aloofness. Like whoever he's with, they're not really gonna feel a whole lot of love and all that. But because of the stellium in the first house, but that's like a spurt. Other than that, so let's go back to the other dude and follow his 5th house and his Leo, the chart in the middle. Again, short because of Gemini, and plus you got bondage because of 15, and 21 is karmic too. 21 represents Saturn and 15 represents Capricorn. So it's almost the same thing as the other chart. It's Saturn and Capricorn or whatever in the 5th house. And it's short. So it's almost like if you was interested in somebody, they're not really going to be interested in you. Or you talking to somebody you shouldn't be talking to. Like somebody that's underage or something. Because that's what Gemini mean. It mean like kids. So now he do got Leo in the 7th house. But once again, the vertex misses it, goes into the 8th house. And see my point? And see that 25? Notice those two 18s? Now I'm at the chart in the middle. Oh, now as far as that other chart I'm talking about, what I'm calling master chart, all you got to do is go to the channel. Let me give you the title. Give me one moment. So that chart, it'll say like new moon Virgo, 31 minutes, 35 seconds. That's the master chart. So everything I'm looking at is comparing to that chart. Alright, so I think we went to the dude's chart. I think we was at the person in the middle. See, now his Leo lives in the 7th house, but look at the 18s. See, the 18s is the moon. So that could be internal. That could also be doubt. And then whenever you got like Mars and Leo, believe it or not, Mars and Leo can lead to 25, which is the law. Because that's something extreme. And again, it could also be some type of harm to children. So Leo's, like I said, that's why Leo's got to be real careful. Because you're seeing that theme a little too much. Yeah, so that one you just got to be careful with because of what you're seeing on the chart. And when you go back to his 3rd house, you see aggression. Like all that ain't good. Like when you go to the 3rd house, you see Aries, aggression. That's small children. And then when you go to the 5th house, you see Gemini. That's supposed to be play, fun, or whatever, sex, whatever. But that's small children, Gemini. And then when you go to, he could be real creative though. He could be a very creative person. And then when you go to but that's why I'm saying R. Kelly, very creative, but you see what he was about. And then when you go to the 7th house, you see Mars and Leo at 25, and 25 is the law. So you just got to be careful. But either way, none of those houses are saying, like some type of commitment. And remember, Scorpio is a good manipulator. Scorpio can make you believe stuff. Because that's just how people are. Like some female, if you take me out, spend a little money on me and make me feel a certain way, I'm not going to question. Like, I'm not going to go no deeper than that. And then some females, they just ask too many questions. But right there, everything is coming out of his 10th house. But his other houses, they almost look real karmic and almost dangerous. Like doing something he shouldn't be doing. See, his problem is he too extreme. And that's why I said females like that, though. That 28 you keep seeing, that 28 around his chart is too extreme. And those are people that dive into shit without thinking. That's what I'm telling you. And I had 2 different people on the phone like that. And that's the one thing they had in common. They just dive in and boom, boom, boom. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these people, like, they don't think. They don't think. And you could try to show them. They ain't going to hear it. They're going to do what they want to do. And they're going to come in like Speedy Gonzalez. They're going to be in and be out. And it is what it is. But that's the type of person to be caught up in all kind of shit. And that's why on the charts, you're going to see like best in the 12th house, stuff like that. Or you're going to see like number 12s a lot. Or number 20s. He's got an interesting second house. This guy in the middle, he's got an interesting second house. Because his second house is inspirational because of Pisces. But then he got Saturn right there. And it's funny because even the Saturn is 5 degrees. But 5 degrees is like the Pope. Is a Hierophant card. It's like the Pope. That's interesting. The implication is he's got some type of spiritual authority, so to say, controlling his money. That might be his own consciousness. But number 5 can also be Leo or the 5th house. All right, so let's see. I think we already did this other gentleman. A lot of fire sign in his 9th house. But that's Sagittarius energy. But it's definitely leadership. And then he got 18, which is the moon energy. But he got the 28, which is the extremes. 28 degrees. Again, Lilith, extremes. When you got Saturn retrograde, that is karmic. And that's past life. But that's also a person that don't got no restraint in the 5th house. Because he's got Aries. And Saturn retrograde is like a person that don't got no restraint. Just off the hook. Alright, so let's go back to the main. Alright. Alright, so what I'm going to do now on the male charts, look at both of them, go around them, wherever we haven't gone yet, and do that. Then we're going to do hers and go around. Like I said, the chart at the far right is all about transformation. And he's heavy with the transformation. Um, the type of female that would stick with him now is the one that would just let him, whatever. Because some women will let a man just do whatever. And then if not, you'll have like the type of females that be with the athletes. It be females that stick with you because you famous or you an athlete. So they'll stick with you for a long period of time. Because what they trying to get, they trying to find a way in. So then they could take you for half or shit like that. But otherwise they wouldn't hang around or whatever. Cause like I said, you can kind of see it on this chart. All this shit is intensity. His Aries got Juno. His Venus got Mars. Almost anywhere where it's supposed to be like a serious relationship, he got some type of intense issue. And then even his 11th house, I mean his Libra, which could be a serious relationship, is in his 11th house, and that's ruled by Aquarius. So when you find Aquarius, it's got Uranus retrograde. So Uranus retrograde is a lot like Aries. It's a lot of intensity, and it come out of nowhere. Uranus retrograde. And that's in the second house of finance. And then his Taurus, well, that's in the sixth house of service. That's the Virgo energy. And then his Virgo got 13 degrees, which is like Scorpio. So any female in his life is going to go through that. I call it turmoil, but I also call it transformation. So any female is messing in his life, if he's that type of person, they already know it's not gonna be, it's just like sexual. They'd be under like Mercury. I mean, it would be under Scorpio, Pluto, and then Vesta is like anything. That's a highly sexual female. Like Vesta and Scorpio in the 12th house, that could even be prostitutes, because prostitutes is in the 12th house. Like he's not really cranking it with no steady whatever. And it may look a certain way on the outside, but internally that's not what it is. Because if you really study his chart, the dude at the far right, this is all about running and funning. And what's unique about him is he's going to be going through great transformation. And a lot of that's probably going to be internal too. But he'll probably change his hair or change how he wears beard or some shit like that. But a lot of his stuff going to be internal as well. And even when you see his Libra in the 11th house, but like I said, that's a partnership marriage. That's not necessarily love or anything like that. That's somebody you marry just as like some Hollywood celebrity shit. Alright, so that's his chart for the most part. Not too much else I could do with that. So let's go back to the other brother in the middle. Yeah. Alright, so what we're going to do, a lot of times your 10th house and your 12th house are closely related. So this dude got a lot of secrets, but like I said, it is what it is, but he's got a lot of secrets. And for some reason, his secrets are related to his career. So I don't know if this dude is a fast money maker. I don't know what this dude is, but I don't know what it is. But he got a lot of stuff that's connected to his career. 10th house is career. Look at all them secrets. Then when you go to the 12th house, there's another secrets and stuff like that. So his 10th house, his 12th house, and his 8th house be easy. And then it's probably going to be a lot of supernatural stuff too, because you're dealing with Scorpio, the Virgo moon. It's going to be a lot of supernatural stuff too. So now whenever you see Uranus conjunct Neptune, we're going to look at Capricorn in the 12th house. But Capricorn is kind of like I said, I always say this. Capricorn is kind of like the communist wall. But Uranus comes to break that wall down, because Uranus and Saturn don't get along, and Saturn rules Capricorn. So Uranus comes to break that wall down, and when it breaks that wall down, it sets up like McDonald's. That would be Neptune, because that's like idealism. Because all these people that was in communists with the wall, and all of a sudden, and they were told to hate democracy, all of a sudden that wall gets taken down, and now they got McDonald's, which at that time McDonald's was like the biggest capitalistic representation that there was, and that's why the Americans knew what they were doing. First thing they did when they tore that wall down, they put McDonald's up in there, because they knew that would help make the people think more like capitalists in America, and that's exactly what happened. So this is what you got going on in the 12th house. And you can see it's Karmic by 21, which is the world card of Saturn, and you got Capricorn there. So his 12th house is extremely karmic. And like I already said this, but every single one of these people got like supernatural skills and supernatural abilities. But now, like I said, a lot of veils are coming off, and most people realize that like nowadays. Like even when you used to watch people like Marvin Gaye or Michael Jackson, all those people had supernatural skills. So did Prince, like all of them did. But we just didn't look at it that way back then. But now we do. The people that are waking up. So Capricorn in the 12th house, very intuitive, very psychic. So he'll be, whether he knows it or not, he's still going to be in the metaphysics of spirituality. So they're warning him against abusing his psychic skills and metaphysical gifts for his own purpose, because it'll be karmic. Like I said, his 12th house is very karmic. So his karmic responsibility in the 12th house, again, we always say selfless service from the viewpoint of spirituality. So Capricorn in the 12th house is going to be kind of difficult, because in the 12th house you're supposed to go external and include people in with you. But they say Capricorn tends to be internal. So that's going to be a challenge for him in the 12th house. And Capricorn might try to professionalize the 12th house, but the 12th house is really supposed to be about spiritual, like selfless spiritual activity for other people. But Capricorn may come in and see it more as how he can make it productive and stuff like that. So that's going to be like a karmic challenge. Because remember, that's what karma comes when you didn't do what you were supposed to in that house. Then karma comes. So his 12th house is very karmic. And with Uranus there, anything could happen. But even 23 degrees Uranus, that's like chaos. Like anything could happen. And it's karmic. And anytime you got Neptune in the 12th house, you know it's going to be watery and there's going to be a lot of deception. So either he's going to be believing he might be delusional sometimes. He might believe some shit that ain't true, or he might be good with making you believe it. Because like he might be a player. And again, you got that 28 degrees, which is not balanced. So that's his 12th house. 8th house, like I said, that could be any type of home business. Like in some ways, like I'm not saying he is, but in some ways this would be like a drug dealer's natal chart. Because that's the 8th house, so that's the lab. And then you got the home right there. Virgo is the home. So you got a lab in his home or wherever he doing it. And see how you got that 24? Because that's always the return. So you got a 24 right there, but then you got a 24 right where Scorpio is. Because Scorpio rules the 8th house. So like I said, making money out of his home. And then let's find the 6th house. And that's the family right there. So the 10th house, which is career, bondage, because you got the 15 degrees, but that's also Capricorn. True North Node is Scorpio. But whenever you have Venus and Scorpio, that's usually sexual. Extremely intent, extremely sexual. And then Mercury, and then making money, and then it's real extreme. And that's how I see it. It's definitely a money maker, but it's like, to me, it looks like the drug game. One way or another, however you wanna call it, add it up, but that's what it looked like to me. And then you keep saying that 28. So the person he would be in a serious relationship with would be a lot like him. Like not balanced, overbalanced, but ready to go. You know, as long as they're getting that money, they could care less. And like I said, this is sexual transformation through Pluto and Scorpio. Venus is in there too. And that it's a serious relationship, but again, it's a serious relationship based on the lifestyle and the money. And it could be, you know, Pluto and Scorpio are gonna make it transformational. But this look like sexual. And then, like I said, the number 12, the 12th house could be incarceration. Could be. That's why I was talking about the wall and all that shit. Because what's going on in the 10th house gets inhibited in the 12th. 21 degrees is Saturn or karma. And even though you could say it got inhibited, it never got shut down though. You still see the extreme of 28. But it does look like he's a partner. Because even when you go back to his Leo in the 7th house and see that Mars, 25 degrees, because that 1818 could be the female. Like when you're dealing with twin flames. And then when you see his Pluto, 28 degrees, that's like the male. 28 degrees, Juno is like the female. Alright, so now we're just going to do her chart. Alright, give me a moment. Alright, so we're getting your chart up now. Alright, so looking at your first house looks a lot like the guy in the middle's 12th house. So both y'all gonna be going through that as well, but that's my point. See, his 12th house, his 10th house, and his 8th house are something pretty much energetically connected. So you're a part of that. But that's basically like a karmic journey he's on too. And usually when you're dealing with a soulmate, y'all do be on similar journeys and stuff like that. So how's that going to affect you, his 12th house basically being looks like your second house? Okay, that's your first house. Like I said, some people like that, but just gotta remember balance. And I got it because you see all those 28s and stuff. Cause like I said, a lot of people they get involved with something or someone, and then see one thing about Capricorn, Capricorn keep you moving forward. Because Capricorn is gonna be either career or Capricorn is gonna be maturity, goals and stuff like that. And you just want to have balance. That's what I mean by too much. Because what happens when you mess around with somebody like that, you know, you might lose 3 or 4 years, 5 years off your life, and then when you look back, you're like, man, I wish I hadn't did it, or I wish I hadn't did it that fast, or if I had known now if I had known then what I know now, and then it's a lot of regret because it's just moving too fast. And it's just easy to get caught up with the fun because you like, oh, I love fun. He makes me feel this way, and blah blah blah. It's all fun now, but I don't know. It's like when that realness hit back in, then you be like, man, I should have did that. I should have did that. I shouldn't have did this. So your first house is relatively his 12, and as you see in your first house, it jumps all the way over to the Mars. But we'll worry about that when we get there. And your second house, Aquarius, in the second house, not really a lot there. So we're gonna move on. Third house, Karmic, because that's Saturn retrograde, and the third house is all about again inspiration or publishing or something spiritual, even siblings or just the environment around you, but it's spiritual. So your third house is kind of like the 12th house, and then ironically, your 12th house looks like his 10th house. So yeah, so your 12th house gonna really be about transformation, watery emotions, bondage, because you got them 15s. Your true north node is there too. Might be makeup, breakup, all kind of stuff, because you got the Venus at 16 degrees. That's the Tower card, bringing it down. You got Juno there, so you will probably find yourself in a serious relationship with either some Scorpio energy or Pisces energy or Gemini energy or Taurus or Libra energy. So like I said, you just got to be careful because however he's doing whatever he's doing, because like I said, your 11th house looks like his 10th house, and you might even be that Juno with the money. So you even got caught up with co-conspirator and shit based on a natal chart. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you're probably the Juno and it's Scorpio. And he's probably the Juno in your Scorpio. And that's what I mean. That's what a soul. See, that's what a soulmate chart looks for. Because you can see they both in the true north nodes, life purpose. It's both karmic. That's why you see a lot of Capricorn and all that stuff. Then you're dealing with the 12th house, one way or another. But like I said, it's still playing you out though, because it's still not a relationship though. That's like I said, it's exactly what it is. It's wham bam, thank you, man, or wham bam, thank you, ma'am. You might feel good and shit, but that don't. So your Libra still that's your 10th house. All right, so now you got your Leo. 8th house with the Leo. So let's just see if the other brother in the middle has some connection with that. Not really. So you have that 8th house Leo on your chart is the other brother, the brother at the far right. And that's normal because, like I said, that's soulmate too. And it could be twin flame. So now I just want to look at that. And that's why I said sometimes it's just the time. Like your video, your information, and the guy at the far right. I would just need to make sure that information is like known and correct, or if not, because that could make a difference. But like if we was positive that all that information was correct, then that's what that is. But even so, you and him might find yourselves in some type of 8th house soulmate type of relationship at some point. So in conclusion, as of right now, just have to make sure that the chart on the far left and the chart on the far right, all the information is correct that you need to do a natal chart. And if it is, then the implication is they may cross each other's path for a little bit, but who knows? Now the one with her in the middle, they just going out. But it's just that the sad thing is, it almost took her back to where she was trying to get away from them. Because it's still basically fun, wham, bam, thank you, man, or fun, wham, bam, thank you, man. But it's not really gonna necessarily solidify if that's what you're looking for. And sometimes you got to be careful because it's a lot of secrecy involved, and that's why I said you really got to be careful with stuff like that, especially when you're dealing with Virgo, because you're dealing with health, and anything could happen when you're dealing with health and stuff like that. So you got to be very careful of all of that, and you just got to be honest with yourself. What do you really want? Because like, if you like, I don't care. I don't really care if I'm serious or not. I just need this. I need that. Or you might say, well, I really want something real. Because if you really want something real, you're doing yourself a disservice. But if you say, well, fuck, I tried, it don't work, I don't care, I gotta get something, then you just gotta be honest with yourself. Alright. And this will also conclude this. Remember, it's live information out here. Also, remember, for anybody that wants to hear the entire deliverance of God's people, because we believe that's about to happen again. Those who know the 400-year prophecy, I'm going to be studying that. Make sure you get at me. So this is it. I'm out.